Ma'am, you have not copied the stream key.
Yes. Not what I had done. I had copied, but I did not paste.
Okay, okay,
Ma'am, 1 minute. Ma'am, go to that OBS software.
okay. Hmm. Stream
Okay, ma'am.
settings, ma'am. Stream
Hmm?
settings here. Here, ma'am.
Ma'am?
Stream settings. This one. This one, ma'am. This one.
No, I cannot. I am unable to see your cursor, ma'am. Say.
Here, ma'am. You are unable to see my cursor.
I cannot see actually.
Okay.
Uh,
Here it is, ma'am. Can you see?
you mean on the YouTube window?
Huh.
Okay. What do you want, ma'am?
No, you want to connect it stream key?
Yeah, it's connected, ma'am. Now.
Okay, okay, okay.
It will stream also.
Okay.
What is the thing, ma'am? We kept resolution less
Okay.
for the data because of data. Okay.
Okay.
So what we do?
1 second, ma'am. 1 second. 1 second. Yes, ma'am. Now you do.
1 minute. Want we can change it.
It's already less, ma'am. That day you have changed 576.
Let it be, ma'am. Not an issue. But the problem is, you keep this window front so that it will fetch.
Okay, ma'am. Today it will be in front only because I don't have to share the PPT now.
Present anything, yes, yes. If not, we have to stop now itself and we should change the resolution so that it consumes more data.
It's okay, ma'am. Mine is Wi-Fi connection, so no problem, ma'am.
Yes, yes. Let's see, ma'am. If it is not fetching, might be in between. I'll come interrupt and do this.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. We will connect. Ma'am, leave that. Any desk.
You disconnect it, ma'am. If I need, I will come for the connection.
Or
you
we
can
should
see
leave
the
it.
Notification.
Or we should leave it. Or we should leave it, ma'am.
No, you disconnect. No issue. Because that also will consume your things. It will be background disturbance.
Okay. Okay, ma'am.
You just disconnect it.
Okay.
If I need, I'll give a request, ma'am.
Okay.
Let it be backside.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
This window should be in the front, right?
This window must be in front so that it will fetch frequently. And they don't minimize Google Chrome window, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm calling you from another number.
First is joining.
As artificial intelligence and machine learning. Without data, without this technology, we will not be able to move forward. absolutely right opinions that we have received through the interaction. Friends, please remember and don't get misled
Now it will.
with any of
Okay,
the
ma'am.
opinions anywhere.
Yeah, it's happening now.
Some may come and tell you,
Now what we'll do, we'll keep obvious and
what does book teach you?
it will.
The bookish knowledge is nothing.
Okay, ma'am, I'll
Makes
check
that
in the YouTube whether it is
voice.
streaming or not.
Yeah, it's
what
streaming,
it
ma'am.
will
I
be,
saw.
Yeah, it is. Yes, yes. Ma'am, you disconnect my any of this.
From the market.
Okay.
Anybody who says that there is no relationship between what we study and what we do tomorrow, I am somebody who strongly will oppose this stand. The whole world of education is not lunatic. There is some purpose why we study each and every subject as a part of our formal learning. And we all need to understand that purpose to take interest, and then only we'll be able to get some insights on what we are learning here. You are all graduates of different courses. That's what I got to know. Some of you may be from commerce background, some of you may be from management background, some of you may be from computer applications, some of you may be from arts background. No matter whatever graduating degree that you are doing, you have your own favorite subjects. You have your own favorite content that you are learning. And anybody who has a strong knowledge of whatever favorite subjects that you are studying will make a definite meaningful contribution to the industry than otherwise. So as we discussed, the domain knowledge is something what you study as a part of course to become a specialist in that area. Maybe you want to be a business specialist, accounting specialist, so you become a Bachelor of Commerce. You want to know how business is managed, you become a BBA graduate. Business administration is something that you learn. Very light kind of a profile that you get when you enter into management. You will be learning computer applications and you know how to handle technology and handle mass work by usage of computers and computer applications. Unless you have this basic knowledge with you, it's just like the foundation of any building. And foundation is something which is very essential. And even when you go to the corporate, the interview process will start something like this. What have you studied? You may say BBA, BCom, BA. Then he will ask you, an industry person, what's your favorite subject in these 3 years that you have studied? You may mention principles of management. Some may mention some computer language. Some may mention about psychology and arts. Some may mention in HR, finance or marketing in BBA. Then he will ask you, come on, tell me, how do you define such and such a concept? And that's the domain knowledge. If you cannot define what you are learning, our strategies will fail. But if you are able to define what we are learning and also quote an example for what we have explained, then definitely your strategies will prosper and then you'll see a brighter side of your career and you'll be able to impress the interviewer within no time. It's all about the basics. No matter whether you are a graduate or a postgraduate or whatever it is, the basic knowledge that you get on how the things happens, that makes a lot of difference. It's not great to understand big things. It is something that you understand great in small things that makes you different. And please remember, there is a relationship between what you study and what you do in the industry. If somebody is saying, no sir, I don't believe in it, then you have a problem, and that problem could be in two scenarios. The Scenario number one is either you have not studied properly or you have not been taught properly. Whatever is the scenario, as a student, what is my responsibility? That's something that I have to see and ensure that I have a strong domain knowledge with me. And that's the first strategy that all of us have to keep in us and ensure that we dedicate our time on everyday basis to see what we have learned today is being reinstated in our thoughts, and let's give some kind of an understanding of whatever we have studied. That's the first strategy that I would like to talk about. The second one is the general knowledge. Are we just restricting our study to what we have studied or going something beyond? Today we have so many distractions as youngsters. So many apps on the phone, so many programs on the television channels, so many functions, so many of discussions among friends. We have a lot of distractions. Of course, it's nice to be with friends. We do need to have an entertaining time. It's a part of our social life. I'm not denying it. But having dedicated some time for the domain knowledge, are you also thinking about dedicating some time for your general knowledge or not? Makes a lot of difference. And once you have a refined balance between the domain knowledge that you have acquired and the general knowledge that you are acquiring, there's nothing that can stop you from success. And that's what my strong belief is. How do I acquire this general knowledge? How do I get to know about what's happening in the area that I'm interested in? Now it's much easier for you. You have various apps of everyday news. This is something, being abreast from current affairs. You may be an arts graduate, you may be a commerce graduate, you may be a computer application graduate. In your own area of interest, what's happening today in the world? What's the development that's taking place? What's the latest know-how that we have? And what are the various ways that industries are adopting in my own area of specialization is what I'm going to get to know from this general knowledge. I must have studied income tax 1 or 2 years back. But by the time I go to the industry, it's going to be a third year. Do you think the rules will remain the same?
No, sir.
Yeah. We all know every year the tax slab is changed. Yeah. And every time we have some new rules coming up, and now income tax is giving two different forms called as old scheme, new scheme. To close this gap, to fill up this gap, it is very essential for us to have general knowledge. I'm not saying if you are a commerce graduate, you see what is happening in Euro football that's starting from today. If you're doing that, it's your interest. But what I am saying here is, general knowledge does not mean that you have to know everything. Anybody who says that I know everything is not a perfect person. You have a domain knowledge related to that. What's happening today? Only that much you need to be worried about. Commerce field, and working in such and such a department. Yes, what is happening today in that area? Computer application, yes, what's the latest development in IT today? Arts, yes, what's the latest development today in arts stream? That's how you need to align with this general knowledge along with your domain knowledge. And when you adopt this perfect combination of domain knowledge with the general knowledge and have the habit of at least reading one newspaper every day, as youngsters, I know that when you look at the newspaper with so many pages, and if you are not having the habit of reading it, you may say, oh my god, itne pages. Virosh. No, you start with one paragraph. You start with one page. And many of them come to me, sir, I don't even know to read properly. How do I understand what is written in that? I tell them, keep the dictionary besides you. Don't understand, first start reading. Stand before the mirror, just read loudly in your room. And whatever difficult words are there, make a note of that. Know the meaning of it. One word meaning each day. In a year, 365 days. How many new words do you get to know?
365.
Isn't it a good increase in your knowledge? Yeah. Out of those 365 words, even if 2 of those words come to your rescue in the Infosys and Wipro interview, or whichever company that you are approaching, your career starts shining. It's that little light that we see in this ocean of knowledge that we want to acquire. But we need to make a start with that. And as youngsters, you have ample opportunities, you have that energy, you have that zeal, you are free from all other these worldly responsibilities, and your parents have blessed you with this beautiful education to just focus on what you are doing. It's a great opportunity, dear friends. And make use of this time, whatever you have as a part of your graduation, to mold yourself and set right your strategies for that beautiful, bright career that you're going to look for. Not only about these 2 strategies for the bright career, I would also like to discuss with you about 3-4 qualities that a bright student needs to have. And let me put up that slide for you here to show what are those qualities that you as a person needs to possess, which definitely makes you stand apart from the rest of the world and present yourself as a unique person in front of tomorrow's challenging world there. Shall I proceed to the next slide?
Yes, sir.
Are you able to see that?
Yes, sir.
This was our previous slide that we had. Any doubts, clarifications in this?
No, sir.
How many qualities of a bright student do you see here?
4.
And what are they?
Your voice is
mental maturity, communication, presentability.
Accountability, mental maturity, communication, sustainability, presentability.
Absolutely. So many of you are awake now. I'm so happy about that. You can see the heading towards your left on this slide, qualities of bright student.
Yes,
And this is something which should be within you. Yeah. One is you have something called as a brain. Another is something what you have, character, which is connected with your heart. You may be fasting during the holy month of Ramadan. Okay? Nobody at your house. Your favorite dish is kept before you. Nobody's watching. go and have it?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Will your conscience permit to do that?
No, sir. No, sir.
It's because we have faith in Almighty. If nobody's watching, at least He is watching us. And we cannot do that. That's the quality that you have as a person. But here, to face this worldly work culture or for any other challenge for that matter, I am presenting here 4 qualities which might benefit you on a long run. The first and the foremost quality that you see is accountability. As a person, when you start working, you will be given certain job roles, you will be given certain responsibilities. Now, how do you carry these roles and responsibilities to you? In every work, we all know some things will be easy and some things will be challenging. And when you perform both easy and challenging things, then only you will be able to complete a particular task. But if there is somebody who says, "Sir, I can do only easy things and I do not know how to do difficult things, so I'm going to leave it as it is." Do you call that as a complete job, a complete responsibility?
No, sir. No, sir.
No, sir.
If at all you do that, you are not an accountable person. You don't know how to shoulder the responsibility. You don't know how to complete the task which you have been given. That's why, my dear friends, this first and the foremost quality of accountability is very, very essential, because that shows the way how you carry your roles and responsibilities. Of course, there will be some challenges, but it's just that matter of time at that moment which you have to put in effort to come out of it. Once you are free from it, the joy that you get of discharging that responsibility and completing that task after overcoming all those challenges not only shows your accountability but also molds you in handling certain challenges. And that's when you can put this word in your CV: "I have the habit of working under pressure." And this is one of the qualities that every company looks forward to. And no matter whether you want to become, I'm not only talking from the perspective of job seekers, even if you wish to be job provider and want to be an entrepreneur, because we all know tijarat karna sunnat hai, we have heard from our elders. You want to be an entrepreneur, you want to be a businessman or businesswoman, you want to start with a small venture. Can you leave your customers unattended halfway through?
No, sir.
We cannot.
No, sir.
No matter whether you are a job seeker or job provider, accountability is something which is an important quality that all of us needs to have. And that shows the roles and responsibility that we are handling. I have seen many people working in the corporate, and I know one of the chartered accountants who's in Tesco company in Whitefield. Have you heard of Tesco?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Tesco is into what? Tesco is into what? What business do they do?
It's a supermarket.
It's a supermarket, right? What does Walmart do?
Supermarket.
Yeah. And what's the difference between the two?
Tesco is very largely,
Yeah.
it is the large distributor in this supermarket.
Which one?
Tesco.
Tesco. Okay. Yeah.
So it is a British multinational company, not based in India. That is
Yes.
DMart is domestic company.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm so happy that you have all the basic insights that is required. What I mean. Walmart is also into.
International, yes. I thought it. I heard it as it is, but it was a DMart.
Yes, DMart is our favorite, right?
Yes. So even Walmart is also an international brand. So sorry for that.
Yeah. And look at the way how we actually try to have the. Yes. Yes, Amina, you're saying something. Yeah, it is a very large store. Yeah. And if at all we browse through little bit differences, you will find Walmart is the world's largest retail outlet, and Tesco being the second one in the world. Another difference that you find between the two, Walmart is US based and Tesco is UK based. Right? And we have several other companies here similar to that, like Tata Bazaar, Big Bazaar, so DMart, as you said. But here they have one IT and ITS company located in Whitefield, Tesco Hindustan Service Center. One of my friend, a chartered accountant, he works there, and he said one of his shifts, normally we see 9 to 6 ka job. Morning 9 o'clock we go, evening 6 o'clock it gets over. But this guy, just to ensure that he has handled his responsibility properly, he had to finish his work. And we know in accounting, every month end we have closing, every quarter we have closing, every half year we have a closing, and every financial year we have something called as closing and reporting. And one of the instances, this person had to work continuously for about 48 hours in Tesco. 48 hours. 24 hours bole to din aur raat. Why such? If you repeat once again, it's 48 hours. He stayed in his office and continuously worked because he had so much of work. And he did not say, sir, my shift is 9 to 6, I need to go home. Because he knows that he is accountable for the job that he's been given. I have some roles, I have some responsibility which is given to me. And I need to do that. He was committed to that work, committed to that responsibility. That commitment here is what we call it as accountability. I'm not saying that everyone should start working for 48 hours. I'm just trying to make you understand that you will face some challenges, but how do you handle that? And how do you ensure that in a time-bound manner you discharge your roles and responsibilities? And it also shows your efficiency and effectiveness in a particular job. If you are unable to complete the task, they say that you are not efficient enough. And if you have a good foundation, like as a student here, our teachers will give us some assignments, some homework. How many of you do it on time? How many of you go to the teachers, get it clarified, improvise on the feedback that is given to you? Also shows the accountability on your part as a student. Inculcate these qualities one by one here as a part of your course. I'm pretty sure tomorrow when you go to the corporate world, this thing will not be a difficult at all. Because you have already become a nicest product. And as a product, when you're going, nobody can fail you.
Yes, sir.
Do you know about butter, Maska? Butter? Yeah.
Yeah, sir.
Yes, sir.
How much do we have to work hard to prepare a butter? Some of you may have a good experience in homemaker, or you may be good at kitchen. You may be supporting your mother. How much of effort you need to put in to prepare butter? Butter is made out of what? What's the raw material for butter? Milk, right? You have a milk one side, you have a butter on the other side. If you want to convert this milk into butter, don't you think you'll have to work hard?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We need to work hard now.
If there is a pond of water, okay, if there is a pond of water, and I give you a glass of milk, and you pour that glass of milk into that pond of water, what will happen?
It will
There
destroy.
will be no
It will-
consequence.
It will lose its importance, sir.
No importance.
Will you still see a milk there after pouring that one glass of
No,
milk in
sir.
a big pond of
No,
water?
sir.
Will you be able to see a milk there?
No, sir. No, sir.
No,
What
sir.
will happen to the milk?
It will
No.
no, it will mix with the water.
Diluted. It's diluted.
Smell will come.
पानी में घुल मिल जाको सिर्फ पानी दिखता है.
Hmm.
You will not be able to see the milk. But if you work hard on that milk, उसमें थोड़ा मलाई निकाल के and you dry it up and then work on it, process it properly, and then you make a butter. And now you have a butter in your hand, and when you leave that in a pond of water, what will happen?
It dissolves. It's not
It will not sink.
It will not dissolve.
One
It
answer.
will not sink,
It will
sir.
not get diluted, right? It floats. It floats.
That's what,
Not
sir.
only
It
in a
will not
pond.
sink.
Yeah, not only in a pond, but even if you leave it in a stream or an ocean, it still floats. It still floats. And dear friends, it's all of us desire here that you all should become like this butter tomorrow. And no matter how big challenge is like a pond or an ocean, you should still float in the market. And that will happen when we know what is accountability on our part. The next quality here is something called as mental maturity. Mental maturity talks about how wise you are. How wise you are. Have you heard of Akbar and Akbar Bad? Have you heard of their story? Have you heard of their names?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Shall I tell you a small story about them?
Sure, okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
There was a time when this Akbar Bacha was there and Birbal went on leave. Akbar Bacha is there, Birbal went for leave. छुट्टी पे चले गए ये खास वजीर. to all other wazirs, ministers of his kingdom, took this opportunity that Birbal is on leave. Let's complain against him to the Badshah. And they all went to Akbar Badshah and said, Sir, your Jahanpana, whatever that word that you used those days, Jahanpana, Badshah Sahab, we are helpless, we are your ministers, we are your wazirs. Yeah. And we see that you're giving too much of importance to Birbal and you don't give us any importance at all when he's there. Why? What's so special in Birbal? Why do you want to give him so much of importance when we are also there? And Badshah said, okay, good, nice point. Let me give a task and let's see how that. Then I will answer your question. And Akbar Badshah said, I have heard that some cat has given birth to kittens in the nearby place. All of you please go, have a look at it and come and tell me what you saw there. Wazir number 1 goes, Badshah Sahab, you are right. Cat has given birth to kittens. And they are nice. Looking so beautiful. Okay. Wazir number 2. Yes, Badshah Sahab, good, you are right. Yeah, we saw. Cat has given birth to kittens. Third Wazir. As both my colleagues have told, Badshah Sahab, you are absolutely right. How did you get to know this information? We also saw cat has given birth to kittens. He gave 2 to 3 days time for all these wazirs to have a look at it and come back. And each day these people one by one came and updated to Badshah, yes, we have seen. Cat has given birth to kittens. Fourth day, Birbal comes back after his leave is over. And Darbar is there. All wazirs are present. He never told him what happened previously. He never discussed about any complaint that he received against Birbal. He just told Birbal, हमने सुना है कि nearby place cat has given birth to kittens. Can you go have a look at it and tell me? He goes there, have a look at it, and he'll come back and say, yes, Jahanpana, you're right. Cat has given birth to 6 kittens. 3 of them have black and white patches. Another 3 has brown and white patches. And 2 of them have opened their eyes. 2 more are yet to open, and another 2 are sleeping. Cat is along with them, taking care. And all of them are with the mother. And they are happily. A couple of them are playing, a couple of them just trying to open their eyes, and a couple of them yet to open their eyes. What's the difference between these 3 wazirs and him? What do you see there? Is the information given by all of them the same?
No,
No, sir.
No, sir. We cannot describe breed.
Whose mental maturity is more here?
Birbal.
That's the wisdom that we are talking about. Likewise, tomorrow, even in the organizations, you will be given several tasks, but how you go beyond your limits, beyond your expectations, and make your managers and superiors more happier by serving the customers wherever you go is something that they'll be looking forward to. Over and above the regular duties, over and above the regular responsibilities that you do, what extra can you do makes a lot of difference there in you being called as a mentally matured person. And I'm sure with this example, you would have got the complete meaning of what we mean by this mental maturity. The third one here is all about communication. Most of the times we confuse this communication with fluency of English. Right? Colony, UK's colony, British colony. Someone tells you, hey, speak good English. अंग्रेज बन जाते और भाई यूके ब्रिटिश जैसा बोलो अमेरिकन जैसा बोलो do you know something when you try to pretend like a British before a British when you try to pretend like an American before American and try to speak like them they get wild they think that you are imitating them छुड़ानी कर को समझ जाती You need to be natural. Communication is a very simple meaning. It's a very simple meaning. What you say, there are two parties to this. One is a person who gives a message, another is a person who receives your message. The person who gives a message should be understood by the person who receives the message. There ends the communication. उसमें अंग्रेज भी ब्रिटिश कर वो क्या भी नहीं है You may have a butler English, you may have a fluent English, you may have a convent schooling, you may have a government schooling. Absolutely, it doesn't matter. How you make the things understand, because you have those two strategies with you. One is the domain knowledge, another is the general knowledge. And you are able to make a meaningful work on what you are doing no matter how you speak. And you are able to make the other party understand. There ends the communication. कोल्लेगाल करके एक जगह है मैसूर के पास Have you heard of it any time?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's very famous for black magic. When I was working in Siemens India Limited, my office was in MG Road, and I had a colleague by name Lokesh. He cannot speak English like the American does, like the British does, but he went to the US and he got billions of dollars of business in business outsourcing to India. Why? Because he understood what ERP he is using. SAP he understood. And he knows how the work is being happening in that ERP. He had that knowledge. And he was able to make a meaningful communication to the Americans there. He stayed in the US for about 2 months with butler English and got back billions of dollars business to India in the form of IT and ITS outsourcing. And that's the communication that we are talking about. And the last one, my dear friends, presentability. Most of the things we want to say, but how to say we don't know. We have so many things to say, but kaisa bolna malum, kya bolna kar ko malum. Yeah, this is something which we have to learn. What message you have in your mind, and how you would like to see it. प्यार मोहब्बत से बोले तो there will be a lot of affection in your presentability. The things will happen in an effective way. If you tell it in a rude way, then your presentability is not positive. It may invite trouble for you rather than bringing solutions. So your presentability has to be in such a positive note that it yields results rather than bring some issues to you. And that's what are these 4 qualities that I thought I should share with you in today's webinar, besides the 2 strategies that I just shared with you in the previous slide. In a couple of more slides, my dear friends, I'm going to show you some of the articles in today's job market. Just have a look at it and you'll get some insights of what's happening in today's world there, and then you'll get little more insights on that. With that, we can have a complete understanding of how things are happening here.
Okay.
Are you able to see that ILO article there?
Yes,
Sir, you missed presentability.
Are you able to see that slide? No recovery in job situation until 2023.
Yeah, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
And even though they say 2023 is only the job is going to improve, but on the next slide, you see contradicting article here. It says Indian IT doubled market share in past decade. That means some of the IT organizations are growing. And when the organizations grow, definitely there is going to be a job. Yeah. And on the next slide again with one more article, I will show you what exactly industry is doing with these reports. They are adopting wait and watch mode for hiring. Here you can see just day before yesterday's article. I'm not talking about 1947 ka some story here. It's just the current affairs, what's happening, and it's India Incorporation, which is into wait and watch mode for hiring. And that's how the market is today. Now, all this is the content that I've had, but to keep it on a lighter side, I have got some career-oriented Urdu couplets for you all. Would you like to hear those shairis?
yes, sir.
So before moving further, I think you missed one point, so there, presentability.
On these four aspects that I mentioned.
Four aspects, I think fourth one was missing, presentability.
Yeah, we spoke about that.
Maybe I wasn't aware.
Yeah, slightly between communication and presentability, there is a thin line. I was talking about communication two parties. One is a messenger, another is a receiver. And the person who passes a message should be understood by the receiver. There ends the communication. And presentability is about how you say and what you say. Okay, how you present yourself. Do you know in marketing jobs, they say more than anything, you should be a pleasing personality. Because when hotel industry and hospitality industry, a lot of guests will be coming from outside, and unless you have a pleasing personality, pleasing presentability, and pleasing words that is used, the work cannot be done. So that's all about presentability. Am I clear on that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
These are the three articles which I thought I should share with you, and pay attention to one of these beautiful favorite shairis that I have for you all here, just to make our session a little more interesting and entertaining. I hope you'll all like this, and let me present that shairi before here. Silently you listen to it, I'll read it for you, and enjoy the message that is there as a part of the shairi. I'm sure you would have come across this somewhere if you are keen. I have two of them, but if you like it more than this, I will share one more with you. It goes like this. इंसान घर बदलता है, लिबास बदलता है, रिश्ता बदलता है, दोस्त बदलता है, फिर भी परेशान क्यों रहता है? इंसान घर बदलता है, लिबास बदलता है, रिश्ता बदलता है, दोस्त बदलता है, फिर भी परेशान क्यों रहता है? क्योंकि वो खुद को नहीं बदलता है. Mirza Ghalib Sahab has said these words, and further he goes on to say, उमर भर गालिब यही भूल करता रहा, धूल चेहरे पे थी और आईना साफ करता रहा. My dear friends, we need to introspect within us. अपने गिरेबान में झांक के देखना चाहिए. Where I am supposed to be and where am I standing today? And how can I reach to the place where I'm supposed to be there rather than pointing out mistakes in the system, mistakes in the surrounding? What I can do, something which makes me a better person tomorrow. That's something that I would like to pass a message to you all here with this sharing. Would you like to have one more last one?
Yes, sir.
Do you all like this?
Please.
Yes, sir.
Sharing for bright future is here. दोस्तों अर्ज है आपकी खिदमत में, pay attention to this. And Urdu couplet goes like this for you all. अनमोल चीज है जिंदगी तो सौदा कहाँ से होगा, दो जिस्म एक रूह तो पर्दा कहाँ से होगा. अनमोल चीज है जिंदगी तो सौदा कहाँ से होगा, दो जिस्म एक रूह तो पर्दा कहाँ से होगा. बेकार लोग करते हैं परछाइयों की बातें, नूर खुदा है इल्म तो सौदा कहाँ से होगा.
Written by whom?
It's my hobby. I have a diary. Previous one by Ghalib Saab, and this is something which I do it as a hobby in my free time.
Sure.
So the last line I didn't
Looking into it, mission and making our students. Noor Khuda hai ilm. Today, some people make knowledge commercialized. Okay, it's not about commercialization. It's about how we carry